All right, we're up and running. Hello, friends of Skelevator.
Hey, everybody.
Oz and Skelevator here to welcome you to episode four?
Yeah, 4. Wow. Already 4?
Yeah, 4 of Toy Frenzy. And this is an exciting episode. We're really stoked. We're going to go ahead and say hi to everybody here. We've got El Tenda here.
Hey.
Good to see you in here. And we've got, of course, Thanos Copter here.
Always good to see you.
Good to see you. Good to see you. And Ganga is here as well. Awesome.
Awesome, Ganga. Good to see you. Welcome back.
Ganga and I have been talking about a little something, so I'm excited to let you know about that in the near future.
Good.
We've got a new person here, Mr. Hootie Dean, joining us.
Hello, Hootie Dean. Good to see you. Welcome.
Hello, Mr. Hootie Dean. And we've got, of course, Duchess of Darkness. Thanks for joining us.
Duchess, always good to see you.
Good to see you again. It's awesome. And we've got, of course, the Prowler. Welcome back.
Prowler, great to see you again.
And, of course, we've got Corey Berger joining us again.
Yes, Corey Berger.
Good. So we've got a lot to talk about tonight. As usual, we a week's worth of exciting news and events and ideas, and then we try and get it all in one session here. We got Congress saying, "Here we go." Yeah,
that's right. Here we go.
I think that's a little subtle hint, like, "All right, guys, let's get going with this."
Okay.
Corey says, "Sorry, I won't be listening for the first 30 minutes. That's all right. Got to catch up with Fortune. Whatever's most important to you." And I'll tell you what, Wheel of Fortune is a staple in many households. So I totally get it.
That's right. Yeah, that's been a staple since forever. So
yeah, early '80s, I had a huge crush on Vanna White.
Oh God, yeah.
All right, so what should we talk about first, Oz?
Oh my gosh, I don't know where to jump in at. I mean, well, honestly, I think one of the best things that we can do and address is Kol-Darr's out.
Yes,
that's going to be a big hit of what we're talking about. We both have our Kol-Darrs now.
Yep,
that's awesome. That's come in, and then we're going to go. I know we got to talk about some MOTUesday news. That's always a good part. Gosh, so much to always talk about here right now with so much going on in the Masters of the Universe world. Yeah. It's hard to pick and choose where you just want to go to start things off.
We've got Jay Peregrine joining us.
Jay Peregrine, always good to see you. Welcome back.
Actually, Jay, I just started reading this book, The Peregrine, by J.A. Baker. How interesting, Jay and Peregrine. But I just started reading this book. It's awesome. It's this guy's observations of the peregrine falcon. And I'm a huge fan of the filmmaker Werner Herzog, and he says that you don't need to go to film school to learn how to make movies. You just got to read this book. So, Jay Peregrine, cool.
Very cool.
Yeah. The Prowler. I just watched Masters of the Universe for the first time in a long time. What's your opinion on that movie, guys? Oh, geez, that's awesome. Well,
okay.
I don't know who wants to go first, but I mean,
I'll let you step to the plate first on this one.
All right. So the what was it? 87? Is that the year it came out? No. 85?
No, it was 87. 87 is when I hit.
I should just trust my instinct on that. But 87. That movie came out. I was severely disappointed, man. I was like, where is first of all, Beastman was Grizzlor. They should have just called him Grizzlor. But and I was stoked that he was so cool looking in the movie. But and Evil Lynn was awesome, and Skeletor was fantastic. Frank Langella, just an amazing performance. But I was like, where's Merman? Where's all the other guys? I've always been a huge villains fan, and at first I was really taken aback by that movie. Now, that doesn't mean that's how I feel about it. Since that movie, since I took a long break from watching it and rewatched it about 5 years ago, I love it. It's special. It's unique. It's weird, sure, It's totally imperfect, yeah, but I can really, really appreciate it now. How about you, Oz?
So for me, I remember it was my birthday, like January 4th, that year, and or around the time it came out, because I don't think it actually came out that early in the year, but I remember there was like this He-Man tour going around. I remember going, mind you, I was a very small child at the time. But they had a tour going around, and I got to meet He-Man in person. Of course, it wasn't Dolph Lundgren. It certainly wasn't He-Man from the cartoon, but he was dressed up the way he was from the movie.
Yeah, that's cool.
So, like, as a small child, mind was completely blown. And then I watched the movie, and it was nothing like the cartoon. And then they, even in the Christmas episode when they deal with Earth, and then this movie came to Earth, it was such a different feel from how, in my head as a kid, Eternia and He-Man went. Now, I thought Dolph Lundgren, not knowing him as an actor really at the time, I thought he was very impressive. In my mind, I kind of always pictured Arnold playing him more, because I had seen some Arnold stuff at the time, and just how massive he was. That's how I viewed He-Man. Dolph Lundgren was a little bit more lean muscle, so I didn't think he was as muscular. Skeletor having eyeballs was really creepy because he doesn't have eyeballs in the show.
It's like a fleshy skull too. It really,
a very flesh-ridden skull, not just like the straight bone of my toy that I'm used to. I gotta say, I was disappointed overall with the movie as a kid because it did not feel like He-Man. However, like a lot of fans, going back, watching it years later, it was a different feel, and I hold it dear to me. There's still problems with it, but if you know the story behind the struggle to get that film out, get it in theaters, to do what they did with that movie, my God, like, it's amazing it actually made it to the box office, period.
Yeah. Totally.
So many issues that went on with budget. I mean, the film was nearly scrapped. They had to, it's still not completely confirmed whether it's true or not, but having to sneak back on set to film what they could for the final battle, because they ran out of time and funding and just couldn't do it. They had this huge battle planned out, and instead what we got was this minimalized cut up scene with a bunch of flashy close-ups without any actual like real combat or fighting. And it works though. Like, it's not terrible. It works with what they had. And like I said, to know the problems that they had to deal with to even get that in the movie, it's really phenomenal.
I love that the God Skeletor outfit too.
Right.
That gold, so awesome.
Yeah, so different. I think that's what influenced the Disco Skeletor variant, and I'm all for it.
I think so. Oh, Thanos Copter, when I get some free time, I'm going to attempt recreating the movie version of Grayskull for a toy backdrop. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Like,
now, when you say that, are you talking that painting that they used for the exterior shots? Or are you going down like, the 5 to 6 warehouse long multiple studios they had to use to create the throne room of Castle Grayskull?
Interior or exterior, Thanos? Like, and also, you want to do 3-dimensional or like a painting? Tell us all about that. That's awesome.
Yeah, I'd love to, and especially I want to see some pictures of it once you get it done. That'd be fantastic. We'll show it off here in the show.
Thanos, if you start to do that, any of you watching right now, if you're working on any projects, go ahead and like send me pictures. My email is right down below. You can send us pictures. You can send us questions, whatever you're working on. We'd love to talk about that here. This is a great place for you to showcase what you're working on. Thanos, good. You're going to post some stuff. El Tendo, also, I agree. Dolph was a decent Punisher. Absolutely.
Yeah. Again, that was a movie where, I mean, first off, the comic book movies were still relatively new at the time. You had Superman.
Yeah, Superman.
And you didn't even have Batman yet. 89 Batman was not out when Punisher came out. And so here is this very dark, real vigilante who is already known in the comics as a killer for a movie. They didn't really know where to go or what to do with it, but it's still overall, looking back on it, a really decent adaptation for the time. It was pretty cool. I mean, they didn't overuse any of his symbols for the comic, which helps bring in fans that aren't familiar with the comic. Because once you start putting that comic label on something, the everyday crowd will back off. They're going to stay away because they're like, I have no idea what this is.
Yeah, exactly.
But
I think that's what the studios are worried about too. It's similar with He-Man. They're partly they're like, well, it's Masters of the Universe, but we can't use the cross on the chest, and we got to avoid all of it. But they're worried about pushing people away, so they kept things general. And so and back to Masters, like I think like for what it is, for what it represents, it's awesome. And I just hope that if they ever do a new Masters of the Universe movie, that they will try to incorporate some of the realism that they captured in the 80s movie.
I think we can definitely expect that. I mean, I don't know. Everybody's read the rumors. Everybody's been on pins and needles for the new movie since they started talking about it back in 2012.
Yeah.
And here we are. It's 10 years later. At least we have somebody cast in the role of He-Man at this point.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be moving forward on Netflix. It's supposed to start filming next year, 2023.
Yep.
And I really think that we may get to see another live action He-Man. I really feel like with the following that's hyping up behind it, that now is going to be the right time. Yeah. But that's not to say things don't happen behind the scenes that we're not privy to that could stop that or impede that in some way.
Well, I'm just saying, listen, folks, if any of you out there know anybody that's working on the movie, just please, we want all these characters to be in it.
That's right.
That's gonna make the fans happy. Doesn't have to be all the characters. Just we gotta have
a lot of the core.
We gotta have Too Bad. We gotta have Spycore. Definitely throw in a Stinkor too. We gotta have, and they don't have to look exactly like.
Nah, pretty close.
Really great designs out there, so they don't have to be exact, but we gotta have some. Trapjaw's gotta have that jaw, right? We gotta have Trapjaw. Did you hear, Oz, the rumor that Blade was supposed to be a kind of Triclops?
Really?
Yeah. I don't know. No. Maybe I'm just reading rumors, but I can definitely see that.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, one of the things that they negate to talk about with Triclops is that he's actually supposed to be like this master swordsman.
Yeah.
That's why he came with such a drastically different sword. Yeah. And it's supposed to deal with the fact that he has those different eyes and the vision all around his head. And a lot of his elements to his character were actually added later to him being more of the tech wizard and everything else. Yeah. So, I mean, it's really cool. And I'd like to see a little bit more representation of him being an able-bodied swordsman again in some form of the media.
Yeah, definitely. So Oz, have you picked anything up this week? Any new additions to your toy collection?
Unfortunately, no, I didn't pick up anything new myself aside from getting Kol-Darr in, which I actually have mine right here. Got mine already open, out of package. Speaking of that Triclops sword, got it right here. So that's my big pickup for the week. Now, that's not to say I went out today, was doing some toy hunting. My son was over, and we went out with our friend Chris, and we were hitting up a couple of Targets and checking out some Walmart. Walmart they're getting ready for their fall reset. Getting ready because, we got the new Christmas stuff coming in.
Yeah.
They're clearancing out a lot of stuff.
Ooh.
Masterverse Battle Cat. He's still expensive, but at clearance, he's down to like $30 in my area as opposed to the $50 he was before. So you definitely want to check that out. We'll get into that a little bit later once Skele Vader gets a chance to open his up and all.
We'll check that out then.
Yeah. The Snake playset for the CGI He-Man, $10. It's down to $10.
That's great.
Yeah, if you can get out there, pick it up. It's really cool.
Yeah.
So they're really trying to get rid of a lot of this bigger, bulkier stuff that's been peg warming for a while, which is neat. My son, I suggested maybe going for the Snake playset for himself. He found one of those plasticless Thor action figures.
Oh, yeah.
If you want to see a good review on those, go check out Geek Dad Life. It was a couple months back. He ended up doing one. He really showed it off, and it's down to $10. I think for $10, it's an awesome buy. But he got the new Thor from Thor Love and Thunder with Stormbreaker and his new outfit. Really neat little toy. Pretty cool. I made sure that He-Man gave him a walloping though. So
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I did see, that I didn't see any Origins figures on clearance, but I did see some stuff at Walmart that was put on clearance that I was like really tempted by. The Snake Throne attack set from the CGI cartoon at $10 is a real tempting purchase. Let's answer Mr. Hootie Dean. What supporting character do you most hope will be included? I have some ideas. How about you, Oz?
For a new live action Masters of the Universe movie, as far as supporting characters, I'd really like to see an on-screen version of Trapjaw. Yeah. I think that would be really, really awesome to see. Hey, Ashley, glad to see you made it. And always good to have new viewers here. I hope you don't mind all of the Masters of the Universe toy talk. That's going to be fun, but we appreciate having you here. So yeah, Trapjaw is a definite must-have. I want to see him on-screen live action.
Yeah.
And that's my pick for villain side character that I want. For a interesting live action hero character, I would love to see Manny Faces. Oh, Carol, hey, good to see you here. That's great.
Welcome.
There was only the one live action movie so far. We're hoping, fingers crossed, we're going to get a second one within the next couple of years here from Netflix. And not to count She-Ra out, She-Ra is supposed to be getting a live action on Amazon Prime. That's so right. Not with Netflix, but Amazon Prime, they're looking at doing a She-Ra live action, which I think is outstanding too, because she doesn't have enough love right now. I mean, she's got a lot of love. Let's not act like she's not getting any. We've got the Masterverse. We have Masterverse going on. Orko versus Ghostbusters.
There you go, Don.
We need to see.
Absolutely.
The Mondo She-Ra that's out. That's right, guys. Carol is my sister. That's my older sister joining us. Those are her She-Ra toys that used to come along and join my He-Man toys and play.
Awesome.
Hillian Dread, hey, good to see you. Welcome.
Yeah, give us Roboto. Yeah, and have him voiced by what is the actor's name? Anthony Daniels.
Anthony Daniels. Yeah, I'd be down for that. That would be great.
Yeah.
You know, we've already got Mark Hamill doing Joker or doing Skeletor in Revelations and Revolution. Let's get Anthony Daniels in on this too. Let him do some Roboto.
Yeah. I liked it was Justin Long doing Roboto in Revelation. I liked his voice there. It was good. Yeah.
The Revelations voiced cast was outstanding.
Yeah. And it looks like it's just going to get better. Yeah. Thundercats live action would be amazing too.
That would be great as long as they didn't do this creepy prosthetics of the latest Cats musical.
No.
I love Judi Dench, and seeing her in that whole cat workup, I was like,
no.
It was nightmare fuel.
It's like there's killer clowns from outer space and cats, and like all the nightmares right there. I think I'd like to see Manny Faces. I'd definitely like to see Trapjaw, but what I'd really love to see is Merman and Clawful. I'd like to see. Yeah. I'd like to see some ocean baddies in there. That would
be down for that. That would be great if they had a scene, especially with the two of them together, since they are dealing with the ocean. I wouldn't mind a breakout musical number from Clawful, you know, a la Sebastian from The Little Mermaid. That would be pretty awesome.
No. Alien Dread still says Silverhawks would be more possible with live action. Yeah, perhaps.
I could see that. Yeah. I mean, especially with the work they did with Iron Man in the MCU movies, I could see that CGI almost being exact work.
The crowd understands that. Yes, Killer Clowns, fantastic.
It's a good one. I have the fear of clowns. I'm not a big fan of clowns whatsoever, and that movie creeps me out, and yet I still find myself watching it because it is so creepy.
It's like it's like a roller coaster. Some of us may not really want to go on there, but then once you're on there, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, you're on for the ride.
Buzz Off and Stinkor, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I love Buzz Off. I'm like on the edge when it comes to Stratos, but Stinkor is like top 5 favorite Master Universe characters. Definitely want to see him.
I actually skipped. I finally saw his Masterverse figure in store today. Actually, because the Target we went to got a restock of some Masterverse stuff, and oh man, I really want to get it. Like, he is one of my absolute favorite characters, especially from Revelations. He was voiced by Jason Mewes. He's got the one line, "Get off my merch, you dirty merc." And it was so key for him. And they were talking about his stink, and of course, with Jason Mewes, what's that stink? We all know. So.
Absolutely. And
I would love to have him come back in a live action to do it again.
Definitely. The Stinkor figure is perhaps I'd say right now it's my favorite Masterverse figure. Right up there with Spike.
Really?
Both of those are really awesome.
Now, is that Masterverse in the way of just Revelations, or is that overall Masterverse across everything?
That's Revelation.
Okay.
I haven't quite decided. I'm still like, Barbarian Skeletor is like up here for me for Master.
I love that figure, and I absolutely love my the Viking He-Man Masterverse figure for New Eternia. I still haven't picked up the Beastman yet. That's okay. There's plenty of them in store right now, so I'm still excited because I know eventually I'll be getting him. And Zodak, like I want that new Zodak so bad. He looks great. The New Eternia line, period, is my favorite thing to come from Masterverse. And I know I've by way of Instagram and checking out Collecting Classics.
Yeah.
His Instagram account, he showed off quite a few pictures of the 40th anniversary single carded He-Man today.
Yeah.
And so that means I am hoping the one that I have on pre-order will be showing up soon. because I can't wait to get my hands on that figure.
Yeah, I'm with you on that for sure. It's going to be amazing. Thanos Copter, I just cherry picked in that line. Focus more on Origins. Yeah, absolutely. I'm with you on
That's
that.
how it works. Yeah,
And
they're pricey. They're great, absolutely great. And for the quality of what you're getting, the price point is great. It's way better than going back and collecting classics. Getting those guys. So getting the Masterverse fit line period, it really fills that void for a collector figure, and it's at a very reasonable price point comparatively to some others. I know what Marvel Legends just went up to like $25 for like their single carded characters, and you're really not getting a whole lot with most of those. I feel you get a lot better deal getting Masterverse, and I think Masterverse is going up. It's $21.99 now versus the $19.99 it started at. But I mean, the price of a lot of stuff is going up, so it's not really surprising.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, they're gorgeous.
If you like Masters of the Universe and you like the vintage figures, then Origins is going to really satisfy that itch for you. And I'm a big supporter of Origins, and I love the Masterverse. The details and the articulation is fantastic. But if I had to just pick one, I think if I had to pick one that wasn't vintage, I'd probably pick Origins.
Right.
And Thanos said I had stopped collecting toys years ago, but when I saw Origins, I'm with you.
Yeah, that's all what started it for me again. And I'm not even collecting outside of Origins and the few figures from Masterverse that I've picked up.
Right.
The only reason I actually picked up that Hammond collection dinosaur was just because I wanted to use him for the mount for Wondar.
For sure.
And like really that's it. Toys have gotten insanely expensive, especially for most of the ones that I'd like to have. Yeah. So you've really, really got to look that fine line of, from a adult collector standpoint and what's hurting your pockets.
Yes.
It's a big, big expense to collect these guys. And especially if you're a completionist, because there are exclusives out there that are hard to get. Yeah. And you are going to pay bank for them.
Yes.
So, I mean, you've got to have that kind of funds available for it. So really, for me, the big driving force is Origins. It's, again, extremely reasonably priced. And, again, it's, you were looking at stuff like when it was coming out, that Grayskull for the Mega Constructs, right?
Yeah.
The Grayskull for that came out, and it was like $300. And then Origins Grayskull came out to scale with the big figures under $100.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, if you were looking at a retro Castle Grayskull from the old line, some places you're looking at like $300 and some odd dollars just for like a single panel.
Yeah, exactly.
So you cannot beat Origins for the price.
I think folks really miss classics. We're getting a few comments about classics here, Hillian Dread and Copter, and I agree. I mean, classics are fantastic, but I mean, I missed the boat on that too. I also couldn't afford it when they were coming out, and so I've had to sort of accept that I only have a few classics. I was able to get the Filmation villains. That made me very happy, like the core villains. But that was with, it started with Beastman and Evil Lyn through Matty Collector, but then it went on to Super 7. That's like really late in the line. And for those of us that weren't able to get into that or collect the classics, we just have to accept that we may not be able to drop $150 on a figure, and that's why like this. And this is Mattel Creations, and if you're lucky enough to get one, it's $17 before shipping and taxes, and it's really kind of amazing. Should I open it?
I think we should. I think we should definitely open it.
My
Kol-Darr is excited to see your Kol-Darr.
Was it Thanos Copter that asked about the loose legs? Who was it that asked about the loose legs?
I believe that was Thanos Copter. He had said his had some loose legs.
All right, so I'm an opener, and I'm hesitant with these with the Mattel Creations figures. Look, I got the little thing.
Yeah, the new cardboard insert.
Yeah, some folks didn't get this, and their card was warped.
Really, on the Kol-Darrs? Because I know on the One-Dars.
Oh, maybe it was One-Dars. Yeah,
yeah, One-Dar didn't have it.
All right, it was Thanos Copter. All right, so let's
Excellent.
So, you know, this card back art, Axel Jimenez and team, like just amazing stuff. I'm gonna be as careful as possible opening this up, so I can save that card back art. But I am gonna open him.
Now, I did want to ask you, Jay from Geek Dad Life, when he opened his up, there was like a lot of glue on the blister pack, and it kind of bled through to the back of the box, and it was hard to notice, but definitely noticeable on his card back. What do you have? Is it?
Yeah, right there. I'm seeing do you see that?
Yeah, I can see it when you move it through the light a little bit.
I don't know if it's glue or heat, or maybe heat activated glue.
Could be.
I don't know how they do it, but yeah, that's a little disappointing. But what are you gonna do?
I had something similar on mine. It wasn't near as bad as Jay's was, and it doesn't look like it's as bad. Yours is as bad as Jay's was either.
Well, I'm gonna be careful getting this open. But while I'm doing this, I'd just like to say, you said Jay, and that's a different Jay than what I'm gonna say. But Mega J Retro being here last week was really awesome. And
wow, yeah.
Mega J, if you watch this later on, or if you're watching tonight, we really appreciate you being a part of this and joining us and accepting our invitation to be here.
That's right, absolutely. You know, I catch myself watching so many different of the toy streams right now. I definitely check out Mega J's and try to catch everything he's got going on. Try to catch, of course, the people at YHS with toy anxiety and what they have going on. Ryan Dole, he has been busy this week too, jumping around. And of course, the guys from Geek Dad Life, Matt Hatter. If any of you guys are watching and you want to do some work, some collaboration work, send us a message. Let us know.
Yeah.
We'd love to have you on.
You can't emphasize it enough. A couple of you have, jumped on and sent a couple messages through our lives, but, and asking us about things, but definitely send us those emails. All right. Carol asked, are the Backs collectible too?
Oh gosh, yes.
Yeah, I mean, people are just, freaking out about this amazing artwork.
Axel Jimenez and it's Fetch also with him as a shortened name.
Oh yeah,
it's Axel's pencils, his colors. They're vibrant, they pop, and the inspiration that they do with those cards. I actually have. I should have sent that over for tonight with some slides. One of the pictures is that picture. Okay, the one on the back of the card art. And the Frazetta painting that it's based off of with Death Dealer side by side, looking at them. That's absolutely awesome. Beautiful.
I love, I don't know if you all are familiar with the artwork of Frank Frazetta, but I love his work, and a lot of these images, not a lot of them, but some of these images are based on his designs. And it's so cool that it's like a little secret nod to those who know that the sword and sorcery community is still alive and well.
Very much so, and kicking.
So
definitely.
Mini comic came fine. There's no like glue or anything stuck. I have seen that before also for folks that are worried. The mini comic. Fantastic. And and some folks have been noticing that this is a little bit thicker, like it's a few pages longer than most of the mini comics.
Yes.
Pretty good.
The ones that come with the Mattel Creations exclusives tend to be slightly bigger, closer to the size of the mini comics that we used to get with the original figures growing up.
And
the ones that come with the waves, they're relatively shortened down, and of course it's the same comic across the entire wave. But I really think a lot of that has to do with the cost, because those little pages cost quite a bit. Like if anybody collects the WWE Eternia line, the Masters of the WWE Universe line, with those mini comics, you get a cover, you get a back, and then you get one page, when you open it up. That's it. That's all you get. But it is individual per figure.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Carol is saying something. When I take the kids shopping for toys, I get them stuff that won't break my pockets. Now, that's one of the reasons why we love Origins, is because they're not expensive. And listen, I listen to these two podcasts on Masters of the Universe. One is Podcasters of the Universe, and the other one is Legends of Grayskull podcast. Both are amazing podcasts. In Podcasters, Jeremy, one of the hosts there, actually threw his Beastman across the room. I believe it was Beastman, to test its strength when those figures first came out. And they are strong. They won't get destroyed. They're made to play, and they're affordable. So that's something to think about.
Origins is definitely a very solid line. They are meant to be played with. That's not to say, however, that the joints in the articulation can get stiff. And I have seen quite a few of them break when they are, because if you try to force it too much sometimes and that plastic is a little tight, it can break at the joint, because we all know that's a stress point on the plastic. We all know that's its weak spot.
Yeah.
Easiest way to make sure that that's not going to happen, if you feel a bit of tightness in a joint, give it a hot water bath immediately.
Yes.
Give it that soak in the hot water. That's going to loose up that joint. Let it air dry. Don't put it in the cold water, because if you do the cold water, it's going to tighten it back up again. You want to let it do the air dry, room temperature.
That's very true. Very good advice. Now let's address this really quick. Mr. Hootie Dean mentioned that this is a prequel to the Filmation episode.
Yeah,
it
is
super cool. And for those of you that have not yet watched it, it's called Double. Oh
man. I forgot too, and I just watched it yesterday.
I just watched it yesterday too. Double. My goodness, I can't remember it. I'm blanking out.
It's gonna hurt me.
Go ahead and do a search real quick. So this is the prequel to that Filmation episode, which, by the way, that's a really fantastic Filmation episode. Thanos Copter is laughing, and so maybe Thanos Copter knows. Let us know what the name of that episode is. Double is in there. Double take. Double take? No. Double trouble? No. That's not right either.
Double trouble. Yeah, that's it. Double trouble.
Yeah,
I just had to Google it because it was bothering me that I just watched this.
Yes. I didn't trust myself. I was like, it can't be double trouble.
But that's it. It's double trouble. I was thinking it had something to do with the cold because of his evil version. But no, it's double trouble.
So it comes with the Triclops sword, which is silver, and it comes with Ram Man's axe, which is cool. That's the same axe that Ram Man comes with. They're both silver. And I just want to point out that this gold is different from his chest armor and his helmet armor. It would have been cool if the metallic gold was the same as the armor and the helmet and the shin guards, but it's not. It's a different gold. But I guess it adds some variety. And I believe Thanos Copter was asking about the leg articulation and the looseness in the legs. The ankles are a little loose. but I think they're stiff enough that he'll be able to stand. So when I got my Barbarian Skeletor, folks, just to let you know, his legs were extremely loose, and I had to actually glue them. I was like, I didn't really want to buy another one. I glued them. I know it's blasphemous, but they were like falling out. It was so.
Oh gosh, yeah, that's terrible.
And I just want to point out that I love that he's not the first to have these, but these loafers are friggin' hilarious. They're basically, they even have like a seam around there. They're loafers.
Yeah, it looks like he put some shin guards over top of some penny loafers and said, "I'm ready for the battle, guys."
I love it. He's like party on top, business at the bottom.
That's right.
And on top being everything ankles up. So, oh yeah, and Mr. Houdini pointed out, I want Shadow Master. Yeah, Shadow Master.
Well, let's keep our fingers crossed. We got potential here.
Yeah, I think Shadow Master will come, and I think that they chose Kol-Darr to release because that episode, many of the episodes in Filmation introduced new characters, but that episode really seemed to showcase him and Shadow Master with their Shadow Master's rope chest action feature, as if they were already thinking about releasing these characters. And so I think that's why Mattel put this out. I think my prediction is we're gonna get a Shadow Master.
I have to agree for one big reason alone. The tooling costs. Okay. Anybody who talks about, toys and talks about cost wise, everybody knows tooling costs a lot of money. So anytime that a company can easily reuse basic parts that they've already put out with a little extra, like for a head sculpt or something, it's a good way to expand on the line. And if you've been watching what Mattel's been doing with this line, they've been pumping out the waves, pumping out as many figures as they can that all use shared parts and similar tooling.
Yeah.
And they're running out of that. And we all saw with what's coming up that they're getting more individualistic tooling, but don't think that's going to prevent them from making a quick buck off of something that's already out, something else that they can put out that's going to reuse that tool. And for something like Shadow Master, he again is something that they could put on. We all don't like him, but a Mattel Creations exclusive because he is a more obscure character because he wasn't part of that original line.
Yeah, you could make him with Stridor and just add wings.
It's funny you bring that up, Mr. Houdini, because today while I was at Target, I did look to see there was a Stridor still at my local Target that I tend to go to. I know they were on clearance for down to $10.
Yeah.
And I went and I scanned it at the price scanner and it showed up as item not available. Now, what that means is that they've pretty much had an extra one that they didn't think they had.
Yeah.
But they've deleted the SKU out of their system. The issue with that is now you have to go by pricing that's available that you can find, and everybody's still online marking them up at $32.99.
Yeah.
So unless I could have found a shelf tag that still said the SKU for the $8.99 price versus the $32.99 price, that was actually kind of my intent in seeing one of those today, was that I wanted to get one. I want to do some custom blue color. Maybe not add the wings, but, just kind of do that. I'm definitely going to be getting into doing customs quite a bit more here soon. I actually need some more tools before I can start getting in my doing customs. I actually just found a really cheap airbrush on Amazon for like $20 that wouldn't hurt to give it a try.
Make sure the ratings are good.
The ratings on the gun itself is fine, but it doesn't have a compressor, so I still have to look for something with a compressor that would be decent.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I want to point out, and I don't know if a lot of people, I've watched a few videos, and the ones that I have watched have not mentioned this, but I don't know if it's going to show up here. I took his head off, but Let's see. It doesn't really show up because the focus isn't there, but I don't know if you looked at this yet, Oz, but underneath his helmet, there's actually a little nose under there. Mattel could have totally cut costs and not sculpted a nose under there, but there's actually a nose under there, which is really cool. They didn't have to.
Yeah.
You see it? You see the nostrils in there?
I do. They did sculpt that. Interesting.
And then his eyes, there's no eyes in his mask, but there is sort of like a contour shape.
Yeah, they've tooled for him, but they painted over him.
Yeah, they painted over him with black, which is great, as opposed to just a flat surface.
Right. Yeah, I was a little worried that was going to happen.
It would have been cool to take his helmet off, but to be able to take his helmet off. But I can, and if I, the plastic for Origins are really, it's really soft. I'm opening his. There is actually a little nose in there. For those of you who are willing to mess with it a little bit, you can see he's got a little nose, little teeny tiny nose in there. So, anyways, I think that's pretty cool. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Sorry, Mr. Houdini. I heard today the new season of the CGI show is the last. What do you think that means for Motu and the future of the toy lines? I don't know if the CGI. I haven't watched season 3 yet. We'll avoid spoilers. I know Oz has, but oh look, before real quick, I think he's saying goodnight, but maybe he's saying hello. Masters Maniac Mexico, welcome. Good to see you.
Hey, good to see you. Long time no see.
Yeah, long time no see. They hosted on Facebook. Masters Maniac Mexico and his friends hosted an auction about 2 weeks ago to raise money for his treatments, and it was for some variants and bootlegs, I believe. So I mean,
nice.
Stuff looked amazing. So Masters Maniac Mexico, let me know if something like that's going to be happening again in the future, and we'll definitely promote. But yeah, season 3, we're planning to talk about that maybe next week. Oz, what do you think?
Yeah, I think next week we can dive into the TV shows a little bit more and talk about what the future holds for those as well. Even what the future is going to hold for Masters of the Universe in general, I feel.
We still have a lot of MOTUesday reveals, and the last 2 have been fairly not really amazing. I'm trying to be gentle here. Not really amazing. Right. Maybe they're holding off and they're going to reveal some exciting stuff here in the next few days. And Mr. Houdini says, I really like the Kol-Darr figure. Great helmet, armor, and beard. Yeah, really awesome.
I agree. I was really kind of hoping that the helmet itself might have been removable and there would have been a face under there. As we all know, that's not the case. I've got one open, one sealed. I did not order 5 of these guys or anything like that. Yeah. So I'm not willing to take the chance of really prying off the helmet and seeing what all is underneath of it and seeing if I can use the helmet with other figures or anything like that. Yeah. Unfortunately, I'm just not. I've only got one sealed, one open. That's it. I'm not going to damage my open one because, I mean, this is a figure that had not had a release up until now. Even with classics, now correct me if I'm wrong, because again, I missed the wave on classics, but I tried to do some research and see if Kol-Darr was available within the classics line. And from what I could tell, only people made customs of him. I did not see anybody like an official release Kol-Darr figure. So this is a character from one episode of the Filmation show. And he's extremely obscure. This is the first time he's ever been officially brought into the toy line.
That's right.
And I love it. I think it's great. I'm wondering why we didn't have one of these way back when. Again, you can see he shares most of the same parts with available figures that are already out. And his armor is just slightly different. I can't imagine that it would have been too much to tool a head and some armor back in the day, so I'm really surprised we never got one in the original line. But I'm happy that we have one now. I really like it. I know we've both talked before about, like, even with his armor and how you notice it's different from the gold buckle and his bracers. It's that glittery plastic that we talked about before. I like it when they do the glittery plastic with the yellow. And I mean, does it look gold? No, it doesn't look gold.
It certainly has a shine.
It gives it a shine. And I really, really like that with this figure. I think it's a really great look. I like that unique armor. I like the helmet. I love the horns.
Yeah, this guy's great. I'm glad we have him, and it feels, as we spoke about before in the episode, it really feels like Shadow Master and Kol-Darr work that Mattel was intending on releasing this as a figure. I mean, I haven't run across any sketches in the Power and Honor Foundation book of Kol-Darr, but that doesn't mean that they don't exist out there. And it's great that we finally get to have this guy as a figure. And I'm keeping Thanos Copter's comment up here because it reminds me of what you were saying about customizing with a lot of figures going on clearance. For those of you who are customizers, that's the opportunity to get the Origins figures and really spend a lot of time customizing.
I think I should post a picture to my Instagram about that. I've been pretty bad about not posting my own stuff to Instagram, just posting advertisements for the show and all. So this week, that is one of my goals. I'm going to get into a little bit more of taking photographs of my own collection, being able to post that. But one of the pictures that I do have that I want to get up there is I actually bought a crafting box from Hobby Lobby. It's like a little tackle box. And I had bought, back when they went on clearance, several He-Man, several Skeletors. Wave 5 showed up out of nowhere again, but it was the international release versions.
Oh, that's interesting.
So bought an entire lineup of Wave 5 once again. So I have all those parts and bits all broken down into little compartments and everything like that, ready to go for some customization. I got my heat gun. I got some paint sets. I just want to kind of get an airbrush. I need a couple of mixing bowls and stuff like that to really get into the paints. It got mini sandpaper, of course, because I want to sand and prime all the pieces. I want to go at it right, but I'm a novice at doing that. So
you and I are going to talk about this, not on the air, but I can say it here as a sort of like teaser, but I have a couple of customizers that I'd like to reach out to be on the show. And you and I will talk about that more in depth. It'd be great to talk about that because there's, along with the fandom, especially for Masters of the Universe fans, and maybe it's just because my feed is inundated with Masters of the Universe stuff. I feel like there's a lot of customizers out there, and predominantly Masters fans that really love to do this. And Masters Maniac Mexico says that the CGI series is very well received. Lots of kids are into it. The series even has TV ads running there. That's awesome. That points to a great future. And to be honest, I know that they are controversial, but I also dig most of the CGI toys. No, there's some, like that Manny Faces figure is amazing. And yeah, they're similar to what we were talking about with Origins. Those figures are definitely something you can play with.
Absolutely. I mean, first off, price-wise for the CGI line, you're talking $10 for a figure.
Yeah.
$20 gets you a figure and a vehicle.
Yeah. It's really
okay. Good. Yeah, $20 gets you Battle Cat by himself, which, that's kind of part of the course. Scott Baker, good to see you.
Good to see you, Scott.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome back. So yeah, this is great. If for folks who are thinking about getting this on the secondary market, the prices are going up. But you try and sit in on those Mattel Creations sales and get the next one if you can. I think that these figures. I know there's a lot of mixed feelings about Mattel Creations and why they would make certain figures exclusive to Mattel Creations. But I think in the long run, it just adds to the excitement. I don't know how else to say it.
It kind of does.
Yeah. So Mr. Hootie Dean, just emphasizing here, I like how between the comic and the Filmation episode, the comic sets up He-Man and Kol-Darr's friendship.
Yeah.
So that's definitely something you get from buying this figure.
Agree, yeah, because I mean, like, without the mini comic, and I know you just opened yours, so you haven't really had a chance to really look at it and dive into it. But you know, it's like when you get into the episode, they're friends, and it's evident. It's clear that these two are really close friends. So it's nice getting the mini comic and being able to explore that friendship a little bit deeper and get it explained. And that's what I love about the mini comics, especially for, again, the Mattel Creations exclusive. I mean, the mini comic Triclops that came out, it was just a reissue of his original mini comics where he had that appearance.
Yeah.
But that was still really neat to go back and read that after all these years. And they made sure to even print it of a similar quality. They didn't like try to upscale it a whole lot. I mean, it's a little bit sharpened resolution on it, which is nice, but it's still that old quality. It's like looking at that original mini comic again. It's fantastic. And then going in and looking at the Wondar comic, and it was like they went ahead and they adapted the Power Sword mini comic that came with the very first He-Man figure to Wondar, you know, and fleshed out his story a little bit more.
Yeah,
so that's awesome. That's great.
It's great. It's great. Thanos Copter, I emailed you some stuff I made for my shelves. Awesome. Thanos, do what we asked. That's great. So we're going to look at those pictures, and Oz and I are going to talk about it, and hopefully we'll be able to talk about it in a future episode. That's very exciting. Please do that, folks. Let us know what you're working on. Send us those craft images.
That's right. I mean,
email is right down below. So let's see. We have some things to talk about here. Let's talk about some of the reveals that have popped up, you know, recently. I know that we MOTUesdays have the last two reveals have been a little bit lackluster, but you know, still some images are going out, are entering our consciousness, and the Snake Men are coming. And it's true, right, Oz, that most of the waves in 2023, or the wave or waves in 2023 are going to be Snake Men card backs, right?
Yes. So what we're looking at here, the very first slide, is the new Snake Men logo. Actually, Menez posted that a couple weeks ago after San Diego Comic-Con, like right after. He posted this image along with that little mini teaser story. And we all saw at San Diego Comic-Con those card backs. This week, he himself just dropped, I think it was yesterday, actually. It was either yesterday or Thursday, put out the first pictures of all of Wave 1 finished characters on card. And you can see what the new card backs moving forward are going to look like for 2023. Now, I do imagine we'll probably get, like we've seen the new for 2020, the new for 2021, new for 2022. I would not be surprised if we get a new for 2023 up in the corner of it. Like we've seen with the other card backs, like when they've done the Evil Horde, or even on She-Ra's card, the Prince of Power, the Legends, or the, you know, just that little emblem in the front showing the Snake Man on the blister, you know, the full Snake Man emblem. And one thing that I like is when they talked about this, and Axel, when he's talked about it, is with the rise of the Snake Men, he wanted so that you had to see the Snake Men lording over the Masters of the Universe. So that's why, as an artistic standpoint, which I love, him coming up behind it and looming over the Masters of the Universe with the Snake Men emblem.
Yes. Now, I want to just take a moment, and I agree, that's amazing, and what a great design, right? What an amazing design. I'm really excited about this. Now, I want to point out what Thanos Copter just mentioned. The stop motion from that, what was it, 2 MOTUesdays ago, was short but very cool. Absolutely. And I want to say that Justin Rash, I believe his last name is pronounced Rash, is the stop motion animator that did that. And he, if you all, I have a group on Facebook, folks, called Motu Diorama Creators, and he's actually a member of that. And I ran into him at PowerCon 2021, and he's very nice and very enthusiastic about the art of stop motion animation. I know just because he's a very inventive and ingenious stop motion animator. They wouldn't just make something that short. We know something bigger is coming. I'm very excited to see what the rest of that stop motion animation shows us.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where they definitely left it at a cliffhanger, told you to stay tuned.
Yes.
So I think we can expect more. And guys, if you aren't already, Skelevator himself has a great Facebook group already on Facebook that I'm a part of. And I didn't realize, is that the same group or is that another group that you have?
I have two. There's
okay.
Art and Toy Conservatory, which I believe you're a member of. And that's, similar to what we've been talking about here. Thanos Copter and Masters Maniac Mexico already saying, "Hey, I'm going to send you craft stuff." That page or that group is intended to honor people who are crafting with their toy enthusiasm. And then the other one, Motu Diorama Creators, is even more specific. It's people who make dioramas based on Masters of the Universe playsets or yeah, and it's a lot of work to do that stuff. So there's not a lot of updates happening there, but it's there for folks who are interested in diorama making, which I am too.
Absolutely. I'll tell you what, I'm definitely going to be jumping onto that once we finish up the stream here and joining that group and seeing what people are putting out, because that was one of the big things that drew me to your channel specifically in the beginning, was looking up snake or custom Castle Grayskull and stuff like that online, getting ideas for my own Origins Castle Grayskull to paint and everything, and coming across your huge custom Snake Mountain. And then I've just been a fan ever since. Never left the channel. Got involved a little bit more, and here we are today. So, excuse me.
When the weather gets better and the garage is a little less of a sauna, I'm going to definitely get back in there working on stuff. So, Mr. Hootie Dean mentioned that he hopes to see the Snake Men that are on the card back. So we've got, what's his name, Lizard Man down here. Not Lizard Man, Fang Face, or
what it is, the oh gosh, because this is something that Axel Jimenez just posted a little bit ago, where he put a concept art for that guy to get made in Classics.
Yes.
And he's based off of, in the very original mini comic for King Hiss. Yeah, that's the one right there that you got your finger on.
Yeah.
He was in that original mini comic, never got a figure or anything like that. But Axel went ahead, and Axel Jimenez, if you didn't know, has been working for Mattel for quite a long time, since the days of Motu Classics. He did a lot of concept designs for the figures. And what he did was he put a concept of it, and I have the picture. I'll bring it up sometime so we can look at it, where it was that character and the shared parts to use to be able to put him in the line so that they could bring it out. But the head that he used was from the character Fang from the Filmation series that was in a single episode.
Fang Man. I just looked it up. His name's Fang Man, and he was part of Classics. He's a great figure, by the way. If you can find him out there, and he's one of the more affordable ones, folks. So go out and find him. But I'm hoping we get Fang Man with Origins. That'd be great. And then this guy's showed up a couple of times, and I think he's sort of based on the dungeon creature underneath the grate, right?
Actually, hang on a sec because I can't see it so great here now that you're minimized down. Let me see if I can go grab mine so that way we're on the same page here. Fortunately, it's not too far. Hey, close up of my face. Let me go ahead and grab that here. I should have had this easier access, but I wasn't planning on looking at mine so much.
While you're doing that, also, I want to know who this guy is, and also her too. These will be great. And this guy, there's a lot.
Going off of what we have here and looking at everything, so the guy who uses the Fangman head, he I think is somebody we can definitely expect to see. Now, the guy above him that's got his arms raised, he is just a repaint, at least who this guy is a repaint of Lashor, or, Tongue Lasher.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Now, I have seen people use Tongue Lasher to make a custom of that kind of frog dude that's in that grate. I have seen people do that. So that is a custom build that people have made. Then we've got this guy who's kind of got this Cobra Khan head here with this snake body. If we were to see that, there was a... I don't think they got to it in Classics because, again, I missed most of Classics, but I have seen concept art for a Lady Slither, and that was supposed to be like her body buck. So maybe that is something that we could use. Her on the very end there that you were just pointing at, that was another concept for Classics of another snake female character that never got made. Again, I believe I did not collect Classics, so I am not familiar with all of the characters. I could look it up real quick myself because there's a very interesting app, if anybody is aware of it, called Motu Admin. It's on, if you do not, I don't know if it's available on iOS. It is available on Android, but it's actually a database for figures.
Oh, that's cool. Motu Admin?
Yeah. And it is really awesome. And it's got them broken down by series. So you've got original series, Princess of Power, New Adventures of He-Man, She-Ra and the Princesses of Power, Masters of the Universe Modern, which is the 2000X series. And then they have Masters of the Universe Classics. And then once you break into it, you can even break it down by, if you just want to look up like vehicles and accessories, stuff like that, or the figures themselves. It's a really, really great app. And I can actually spend like hours just looking at all these great toys. But yeah, it's something where I think, again, she was a concept figure along with a Snake Man playset that they were going for that never got put out. And Scott Knightlick talks plenty about those on his channel.
Yes.
Which he may get a lot of hate, but there is a lot of lore there that he can talk about and explore that he had while he was working with Mattel. And it's fun to listen to a lot of his stories and hear a little bit more about the history of Motu and Motu Classics.
Yeah, he definitely has an archive of information up there in his head.
Yeah.
I want to say I'm really excited because they're showing that Snake Mountain playset back there. And I think that would be amazing to have.
I'm loving it. And I think it's something that needs to be especially featured prominently with the rise of the Snake Man wave. Because, I mean, let's face it, back in the original mini comics, it was in the bowels of Snake Mountain that the Snake Men were really, or Cobra Khan brought Skeletor and released King Hiss and the Snake Men. Yeah. They repeated that kind of similarly in the 2000X series with their origin. So, I mean, if we're getting Snake Men, I think next year we definitely need to have a Snake Mountain.
Yes, we definitely need it, and it needs to. I believe it should definitely have the wolf head speaker, and it needs to have a little bit more interior stuff going on than the original playset. But
I'd love to see that. Yeah,
it's got to look. It really, I want it to look like what we have here. Like very similar to the original toy. It'd be really cool if they came with like a base. As you can see here underneath there, there's like that rock base. That would be an amazing attachment for that.
Well, fortunately, I mean, you can get again, in the realm of the customs, I know Hebro's channel, he does a lot of kind of like some like interiors for Castle Grayskull. He's been doing custom floors right now for Castle Grayskull, which is great. And I've even seen recently somebody actually made up like a planogram kind of thing of a basement level to Castle Grayskull, where it's got like some walls, and in the very corner piece, they've got like the jail, which Hebrew, again, he 3D printed himself one. And yes, it looks really unique. And again, I would like to see something more akin to that from Snake Mountain, because I remember as a kid, I loved the exterior of Snake Mountain. But it seems like that's where everything goes on, because on the inside, all you really had was the voice modulation box, and the net.
Yeah. So I could see them like creating a base that would fit underneath Snake Mountain. Once you unfolded it, it could be located on the inside along with some extra walls that you could attach. I could see how that would be something that you could pull out, put on the ground, and then make it stand on there and have to be taller than Castle Grayskull, because it is. And so yeah, that would be cool. I want to see what we're seeing in this image. I want to see as a playset. Oh, here we go. Realistically, how long do you think Origins will go on? I think it could go on for another 2 years.
When you look at it in terms of what they are doing, they just showed off at least their plans for the next year.
Yeah.
If sales continue like they have been, because sales have been good enough that we got to more individualistic tooling point where not everything's all shared parts. A lot of these upcoming toys are individual tools. So with that in mind, I have a feeling, yeah, we're going to go for at least another year or two. That does not mean that some things may happen, things can change, and maybe it doesn't. I know one of the big things that goes on with this line, it makes it increasingly difficult for a collector standpoint, is distribution. And
yeah,
the distribution on the brand is pretty horrible. And a lot of people are blaming Mattel for that. The truth is, that's out of Mattel's hands.
Yeah.
Mattel sends the product to the retailers, and clearly they're sending it enough that Big Bad Toy Store's getting theirs. They're sending it to Entertainment Earth. They're getting their figures. They're sending them to Target. They're sending them to Walmart. But once it gets into Walmart's distribution centers, it's Walmart and Target's that need to get it distributed out to their individualistic stores. There is no Mattel truck that shows up at your Walmart or your Target dropping off all the toys. That's not how it works. It goes to the distribution centers. Distribution centers load up those big boxes, and then those get sent out to the stores. And, you know, once it's in the stores, they unload it from the trucks, put it on some pallets, put it in. I mean, it's been a couple years since I unloaded trucks for Walmart, so I don't know what their source is on how they unload them these days. I've heard it's changed quite a bit for the worse. And, you know, it's one of those things that's how it gets distributed. So the distribution overall is not on Mattel.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not some kind of shill from Mattel that just thinks they're the greatest company in the world, because they've got their faults. Believe me, they've got plenty of those. But that poor distribution and not seeing these toys in your local Targets and your local Walmarts, it's not on Mattel. That's on Walmart and Target for not getting these lines distributed properly. Now, that's not to say that a Mattel rep is not out there making sure that these toys are stocked on the shelves. I can't say anything from that. All I know is that it breaks my heart when I don't see things out here on the East Coast, but I get pictures from Skele Vader's neck of the wood of discount toys, discount shops getting pallets full of $2.99 per figure Flying Fist He-Man and Terror Claws Skeletor, and I have yet to see one in a store around me.
and I see images in the East Coast of figures that I've never seen on the shelf over here. So
Wish I could find them.
my biggest complaints. I'm with you, Oz. I don't have complaints about Mattel per se. I have complaints about the distribution. I want
Right.
to see the figures in the stores. Now, one thing I do want to say about them revealing Snake Man, and I'm going to go back here. Hillian Dread is predicting that the Origins will end in 2025. I could see that happening. When I see the Snake Man arrive, I go back to the Mike Young production show, and I fear that they symbolize the end of
Right.
the line. But I think that there's definitely more to come. You know what I'm going to show here. I would love to see Queen Marlena before Origins ends. Absolutely, me too. And I think
I'd love to see females. Period. More females in the toy line.
Now, I do want to say it would be great to have a Revelation style Snake Mountain. I had heard a rumor that they were thinking about doing a Masterverse Grayskull. So if they were to do a Masterverse Snake Mountain, that would be amazing. But really, I don't know if there's even a market for those two play sets. And they might have to do something special with those. But I prefer a mixture of, just like what we saw in Revelation, a mixture of the toy and a mixture of the Filmation cartoon Snake Mountain.
Sure.
That's what I built when I made my Snake Mountain, and that's where I kind of always what I've always wanted to see as a kid.
Right.
And then Thanos Copter says, I hope the line at least recreates all the vintage toys. Well, we're going to get Extendar. We get Extendar back there, right? And
so far, the backs of the cards have not failed us in representation versus what's coming.
Yeah.
So I'll give it that.
Yeah. And Theodora, that would be amazing. Yeah, with the whole royal family, absolutely. Thanos Copter, my only complaint with Mattel is how quick the creations sell out. I know it's awful. I'm nervous about Grizzlor too because I love my vintage Grizzlor. I would be happy if I just had him for the rest of my life, but I would love to have an Origins Grizzlor. So I'm nervous too with Thanos Copter. And Mr. Houdidine says that would be nice. I'm trying to customize Super 7 She-Ra into Adora. Awesome. That's great. Mr. Houdidine, send us pictures. We'd love to see your customs.
Yeah, for sure. We want to see those customs.
Hey, Mega J Retro. Welcome.
Mega J made it. Excellent to have you in the chat again. We gave you a shout out earlier saying what an honor it was to have you on last week, and we loved having you. Glad to see you can make it tonight as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, Ratlore proves it. Snake Mountain, where the Snake Men will reclaim their birthright. Absolutely. We're hoping.
That's right. That's what we were saying. You know, we've got to have a Snake Mountain playset come out now that we've had Snake Mountain showed off.
Yeah.
You know, got to have it. Yeah, you just can't have Snake Men without Snake Mountain. It's how it goes. What I love about this here, okay, so we've already showed off the back of Ratlore's card. Gamer Bud, thank you for making it. Good to see you again. Always a pleasure to have you here with us. So we had that, the card art for Ratlore with Snake Armor He-Man. I love that the Cobra Khan back has Thunder Punch He-Man, not the Snake Armor He-Man. Yeah. And what I mean by that is it's almost like, as we know, Cobra Khan was one of Skeletor's thugs, and then he pulled him into the basement of Snake Mountain to release the Snake Men. That is how it goes. That's the story. So here it's kind of like this Thunder Punch He-Man comes, meets Cobra Khan here a little bit before the rest of the Snake Men get out. And then we have, once the Snake Men are free, the Snake Armor He-Man. And what I love about the, again, that next card for Snake Armor He-Man is we know we have Cobra Khan coming. We know that we have Ratlore coming. We've seen that they've got a figure made up for Tongue Lasher. They've got one made up for King Hiss. So we have all those core Snake Men that first came out way back in the retro line. But here on the back of Snake Armor He-Man's card, now we're showing some of those other Snake Men they released later.
Yeah.
So we have Squeeze and we have Snake Face. I can't wait to see those figures as well.
Yeah, this is gonna be awesome. They're gonna come.
That's right.
Gonna...
Seeing Mr. Hootie Dean's comment here, I'm using my Snake playset for my Snake Men base. Now, Mr. Hootie Dean, which Snake playset is this that you're using? I know I'd seen a post, I believe it was on Instagram, of somebody using, is it like a Discovery Channel playset or again, another different playset here where it was like a Giant Cobra Attacks playset, and it works relatively well. The scaling slightly off, and I had seen that and kind of wanted to purchase it myself. I actually have found that for anybody who's a fan of Harry Potter, there was in Harry Potter, oh God, and I'm drawing a blank on the name of the second book. When the movie came out, there were several Harry Potter Chamber of Secrets.
Yeah.
There were a bunch of toys for Chamber of Secrets, one of which was a snake slime pit, if you will. And the snake playset that slime playset actually scales well with Origins. I've seen it. And then there is also for like a Basilisk Tax playset. And I kind of wanted to use those almost like an interior to a Snake Mountain if they came out with Snake Mountain. I thought good because, you know, it's all very snake themed.
I think JMac 77, welcome. We're both on the same mindset here. I think that's what Mr. Hootie Dean was talking about was the
okay.
snake playset. Oh yeah, actually, here we go. Yeah, the CGI snake playset. Yeah.
Okay, sure. Yeah, I mean, I've got that ready to go. I can't wait. And mine's sitting over here. Mine was actually a Christmas present this last year from Jay Peregrine, actually. He picked that up for me for Christmas because he saw I was going crazy collecting the He-Man stuff and definitely wanted to get that. So, excellent.
That's so funny. The slime pit was literally taken from the Horde slime pit. Yep, that's so true. So I want to point this out here. Boltman looks like a repaint of Sunman character or vice versa. I thought that too at first, Helion Dread, but when you get a close look at Boltman's face, there's definitely a different facial structure there. But the rest of the body looks to me like it's a repaint of the belt and the shorts and the wristbands and stuff like that. But I like the design of this character.
Absolutely. I mean, as we talked about, what was that now back in the second episode, the Rulers of the Sun, where we talked a little bit more in depth. All the Rulers of the Sun characters share those parts, the arm bracers, the groin area and the legs, the boots. They're all the same across those. Their individualistic armors are different and their head sculpts are different. Everything else is shared parts, which again is, I think that's one of those reasons that Mattel wanted to incorporate them easily into the line, because the torso is the same, the legs are the same. They had to sculpt some new boots, some new bracers, and little groin area, and then it's just heads and armor, and that's all they had to sculpt for the rest of them. But they share all the other same basic parts that the rest of the toys already shared. So it was definitely a good inclusion part. I like that it really helps flesh out a more diverse Masters of the Universe cast. I mean, we never had anybody like Boltman before, weapons-wise, power set-wise. He just didn't exist in the original Masters of the Universe line, so it's great to have a character like this. And I'm looking forward to so many more of them.
Me too. I just got to point out, Gamer Bud, you are like on the same wavelength as us. That would be amazing if there was a second play set within the Snake Mountain. And that goes, I want to go back here just a little bit. to this. We were talking about this before you popped on, and that this base here, if you can see it, there's a base underneath Snake Mountain. It's like a rock base. And we were talking briefly about how that could very well fit inside, perhaps, of Snake Mountain playset, and you pull it out and assemble it. And then it could be like a more of a conical shape. And also you could have sort of the coil of the snake go down into the base of it. Now that would be amazing. Give us something a little different from the original Mattel Snake Mountain playset.
Right.
A little bit of height. Have some parts that we can assemble to give it some depth and a little bit of
just give us a little bit extra.
A little bit of snake history in there for sure.
That's right. Right. Give us that snake kind of throne room feel would be great.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, similar to the Snake Mountain playset.
Yeah.
We got Boltman fighting
Camo Con.
Yeah.
I love this. Like I said, it's just great. What a dynamic look to it. And throwing the bolts, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
And I agree with you, Mr. Hootie Dean. The butterfly women as well. I want to see more women in here. I want to see more of the Princess of Power line in Origins, because my sister was in earlier in the chat. I don't know if she's still watching here. She had tons of stuff. I really like the idea of, even if they were to do the Crystal Palace playset again, Crystal Palace was kind of ritzy. It had like all those Barbie features with the play furniture and stuff like that. It makes a great Eternos palace.
Yeah.
For King Randor to sit upon. Because you got to remember, he's not the king of King Grayskull. He's not King Grayskull. He's King Randor of Eternos.
Yeah.
And the Crystal Palace really kind of made a good Eternos playset.
Yeah, I agree.
Separate from Grayskull. It is absolutely great for the toys back in the day.
Yeah.
And I am so pumped for Camo Con. Yeah, I'm more pumped for Camo Con than I am for Grizzlor. And I think that's partially just because I'm bitter that Grizzlor is going to be a Mattel Creations exclusive. I'm going to be bitter about that all the way up until I get them. And then I'm going to be like, oh my God, it's so great. I got Grizzlor.
Yeah. Well, let's see here. Mr. Hootie Dean, is anybody getting the Chi Motu
CGI? I think he meant to type CGI for that one.
I'm on the fence. I'm on the fence about it. It's really cool. I'm a traditionalist when it comes to Castle Grayskull. So the one that I want to look at is the vintage or the Origins. It would be really cool for me to have I'd love to get the classics one eventually, but that's probably not going to happen.
Not at that price point.
No, exactly. The CGI one is really cool. If it becomes, I would consider it if it was eventually discounted. I don't want it to be discounted. I want it to be a success and sell at normal price. Yeah.
Depending on the price of the CGI Castle Grayskull, I like it. I think it is a fun playset for kids. They gave it lights. They gave it sounds. I think that's fantastic. Yeah. It's got playability, a lot of neat play features, which is important for a play set. It's very modern in that play set light era. We had some heavy play sets growing up because we had, Eternia, you had Grayskull, you had Snake Mountain. These things were big. They were massive. The real Ghostbusters, the Firehouse, it took some space to store these guys. Newer play sets are smaller. There's not as much to them in a lot of ways. So I really, really kind of like that overall aesthetic of it. Do I think it is a Castle Grayskull? Not really. It does not. It doesn't call to me castle. I will say it looks kind of neat as maybe a gate to leading up to Castle Grayskull.
It seems well in the cartoon, and I'm really enjoying that cartoon, by the way. It does kind of feel airy, like it's got a lot of open areas, and so maybe that works. And GamerBud said you might look into getting it though. Yeah, and also GamerBud, you've already watched season 3. I haven't yet watched it. You and Oz could talk about it, but I would really love to. We're planning our next episode to perhaps like dig into season 3 and the end of season 2.
Yeah, definitely.
Sorry, go ahead.
Continue. I was just agreeing with you.
Yeah. I do want to say, I want to go back a few comments and mention that Hillian Dread mentioned it sucks people are going to have to choose. I don't know if people are going to have to choose between CamoCon or Grizzlor. I think they're going to be released separately. I don't think it's going to be like everyone competing to get them both at the same time. At least I hope. I don't think Mattel would do that to us. And I'm with Thanos. I'm hyped about both of them. It would be great to get them. If we miss them, we can all cry on each other's shoulders. But I know some of us will get them, and that's what's so great about this community and YouTube and Instagram and Facebook, and we can share our experiences with the figures, even if we don't get them. I mean, we did that with the Wondar episode. Oz volunteered to come on and show his Wondar, so we could all enjoy it if we didn't get him.
That I gotta say, it's one thing about this. Maybe that's something we can do when it gets a little closer and we kind of hear some announcements of what's going on. Maybe we partner up, with some people. Have a buddy with you. Gamer Bud. Your name's Gamer Bud. Have a buddy system where, hey, look, we're trying to get these figures. I missed out. Did you get more than one? Can you hook me up? Let's communicate, guys. Let's talk. Let's either be able to send some money online or trades. Trades are always really good.
Yes.
If you missed something that you really wanted, if you got an extra something else that somebody else needed, a trade is a great way to do that.
Yeah, and this community is great for it. There are only a few lousy folks out there that don't follow through. Most of us Masters of the Universe collectors, including Oz and I, are very trustworthy and excited collectors, and we're willing to share what we can find and with each other. So
that's right.
Mega J Retro coming in here saying support the community and try and help as many people as possible. Absolutely, and
that's how it goes.
And we're doing that. Like that's why we're here, and that's why we're talking, and that's why the 8 people that are watching. That's why you're here, right? So we can talk about this stuff and share. Now, I love that Oz pointed out Gamer Bud. You could even call it. You could even start this as a Facebook group or something, Gamer Buddy System, and just start the buddy system using your name. Oh, and Mega J, Gamer Bud is super trustworthy. He's the man. Awesome.
That's right.
Yeah.
What more do you need in an endorsement than Mega J?
That's right. That's right. So let's see what's on the next slide here. Oh, you know what? It's been a while. It's been a while, I know, and time flies, and so many great channels are covering MOTUesdays. But we're going to talk about stuff that really has stood out to us. And for me, I'm really excited about this Too Bad reveal that came several weeks ago. Too Bad is one of my favorites. I love this figure. I loved him as a kid. I love that you could they could punch each other in the face. I don't think that's what this figure is going to do, but
no, clearly not here. Really, out of everything they've been announcing with MOTUesdays since San Diego Comic-Con, and don't get me wrong, I think it's great what they've done. I know we were going to talk about it, so I mean, maybe we can just break open the can of words about MOTUesdays here. Starting with, of course, my favorite MOTUesday announcement so far, which was absolutely Masterverse. And I'm guessing this is going to be under the new Eternia banner. Too Bad.
Yeah.
Like, really, really.
I love it. I want to point out, I'm not sure if it's going to be new Eternia. Part of me feels like it might be Revolution, mainly because, and a lot of other channels, and Pixel Dan is one of them that pointed this out, that, the reason why I have my Power and Honor Foundation book out here so we can look at this picture, but because New Eternia is really spending a lot of time looking at the designs, honoring Mark Taylor's designs and other designs. And I want to do a little shout out real quick though. Power and Honor Foundation book is amazing. It's a little bit hard to find. Those of you who do not listen to the Legends of Grayskull podcast, please do. I won this listening to their podcast. They're awesome. But these are the two, original designs.
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and.
Looks a lot like Multibot almost.
Yeah, I gotta stand up here. So yeah, these are the two original sort of designs of Too Bad. I love that there's almost like a Prince Adam design there on one, and then this one's like this super goopy one is awesome. So I don't know. I have a theory that it might be Revolution Too Bad. Unless it's been announced.
Well, one thing I will say, as far as giving credence to a new Eternia thing, the crest on his belt.
Oh, okay.
Both pictures you just showed off in that book, that crest is very, very prominent over his chest armor.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
And
you're right. There's the nod.
Yeah. So I'm thinking that might be part of that. Here we go. We're showing off this, we're honoring and showing an homage to Mark Taylor's original concepts here.
Yeah.
With that belt. But what I think I love most about this is really just heraldry, the House of Two Pets. Jumping a couple comments here saying Mega J Retros.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, the heraldry on the emblem, they show it with that axe that they just everything about this. Look at how much they're giving you. This is how you do a deluxe Masterverse figure. I gotta say, out of all of the deluxe figures we've had so far, I think this one is really what's giving you that bang for your buck.
Absolutely. Like worth the deluxe price point. And both of you guys have totally convinced me, Thanos Copter and Oz tonight, that's definitely got to be new Eternia, because it's those weapons and the symbols, that's all throwback. So that's great.
And it's also a lot to do with that 2000X version of Too Bad as well, where the Tuvar side is more of that technology based. And the Batra side is, or maybe I have it reversed because it's been a while since I've seen those episodes, but that, he's got that more barbaric, less tech savvy side, that, more hedonistic or heathen style with the weaponry and everything like that.
Sure.
It's just a great mix of all of that here. I mean, I think the only part that I'm slightly disappointed about is that we don't have like an individual buck for each character that we can just kind of throw the heads on and keep that center buck as like them mixing. Like that would be neat, but then you're talking like $120 figure by the time we're done with all of that.
Yeah.
And I got to agree, Jay, although She-Ra looks beautiful, do not get me wrong.
Yeah.
She is an amazing, amazing figure. Looks like she's coming out. But as far as releasing her as a deluxe, I don't really see that price point for a deluxe. She's the extra head. I guess that helps.
That's it. It's sort of, I feel like that she's sort of the worst example of calling it deluxe and getting what you get. But I have to say, and I think everyone in here is in agreement that she just looks great. I mean, the sculpt looks great, at least from what I've seen. And maybe that's what they're writing on here.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, so far out of Masterverse and out of the female characters that they put out, now mind you, we've only had Revolutions female so far. We had the initial Evelyn, we've had Andra, and we've had Tila. 2 versions of Tila, and overall the sculpt's been fine. They look good, but really, like, when I think of the female toys in the He-Man line, Ketra and She-Ra from Masterverse just really capture that look, that aesthetic from the old toys, and I think they're fantastic. I was a little bummed out to find out that Ketra's mask, if you remove it, she's got the little slits, but it's still really cool that they give you that option to slide the mask down and slide it up.
We're just never going
to live with it.
We're just never going to be able to take the mask off. I'm okay with that. Yeah. I want to say here really quick that GamerBud also listens to Legends of Grayskull podcast. Yeah, they are amazing. Their channel is great. Their show's a lot of fun. Folks, I'm going to put after this, I'm going to put a link to their channel down below. You should all listen to them. They're awesome.
I agree. Yeah.
Let them know that Skele Vader sent you, okay? But yeah, I agree. There's I'm just going to go back to here to GamerBud. Also here, I need her in Hordak for sure. That Masterverse Hordak looks awesome.
Well, I'm really hoping that so far everybody from the chat has said they need to get her. Mega J said it. GamerBud saying it. We all agree we need to get that She-Ra figure. We need to get that Ketra figure. And I'm hoping Mattel is seeing that these figures are in demand, that people do want them. I mean, honestly, they should just look at the numbers from Mondo's She-Ra, because anybody who was willing to spend, was it 250 or it was 250 for She-Ra, because He-Man was 260. And yes, you need to get those, Corey. Absolutely. I'm saying it here.
Yes.
If you can look them up, put those orders through. Let's get those things pre-ordered. I want to see them. And too bad. I noticed his comment earlier there.
Which one?
Is this one I need to use my program to get, or will there be plenty? I'm thinking this one's a definite. If you got programs to use to buy all the toys super fast, let's do it.
Yeah, and also let us know too, because we want to get in on that too. Where's Imp? Yes, I think it's a valid concern. Where is Imp? I'd love to see Imp. I thought Imp would for sure come, but no Imp.
He was not with Hordak, and that was very disappointing because, again, Hordak's a deluxe. Now, Hordax gets a whole nother arm, so at least there's that. It's not just a hand. He gets a whole arm. But, yes, let's do it. Let's see Imp.
I'm also with GamerBud here. It's been very hard to find the classic style Masterverse Tila. I've yet to see her, too. I haven't seen her either.
Yeah, I never saw her in store. Nope, I have not seen that wave yet. Like I said, I'm just seeing Stinkor in store now. I saw Fisto and everybody else, and Stinkor never hit shelves until today.
Stinkor's showing up over here, and Andra is showing up over here, but that's about it. Mega J Retro says, I want a program too, and Hordak is a decent for deluxe must-have. We're all in agreement there on that one for sure.
Yeah, I see Corey asking if they are available already. They should be available already. If you guys are looking for them, Masterverse, Ketra, Hordak, and She-Ra. I know people have posted videos for unboxing and stuff like that. I've seen pictures, so they should be available already. Check Amazon, Entertainment Earth, Big Bad Toy Store. Definitely go look. I know for anybody who's been having trouble finding the newer waves in store, everybody's been getting the new waves through Big Bad Toy Store and Entertainment Earth. Now, if you guys have a preference, one thing I've noticed is people ordering from Big Bad Toy Store have been getting the international cards with the newer waves.
Yeah.
And that does make a difference with the packaging, especially with the mini comic, because when you open that mini comic, it does not have the words.
Now, with that being said, if you're a collector and you are interested in having international versions, that's for sure way to get it. You're going to find it there.
Guaranteed, you will get it from Big Bad Toy Store.
Yeah.
Entertainment Earth has been receiving the North American cards. So they're getting the North American versions. Big Bad Toy Store's getting international. I don't know what's going on, but that's what we're seeing.
Hey, a Hillian Dread, imagine guys in stores buying all the Origins 2 play sets and having to lie and say, hey, I proudly say I'm getting this for me. They call back to my childhood. I own it. I own it.
Yeah, I've got no problems buying. I'm not going to have any issues showing up in there and being like, oh no, I'm buying this for me.
Yeah. No, he does not, Corey. He doesn't even smell like patchouli. He just smells like plastic.
Sadly, yeah, the Masterverse Stinkor missing all smell.
Yeah. And Big Bad Toy Store does have the pre-orders up, as Mega J Retro said. So
thank you, Jay. Always appreciate it.
Corey said, I know mine will. Yeah. Your action figures smell like anything you want, right?
That's right. Somebody just posted online that they had ordered they went a step beyond patchouli. They bought skunk smell.
Oh, whoa.
Like actual skunk, and put a few drops. And then their comment behind was, I can still smell them from my basement. So he's got them in a completely separate part of the house, still smelling it.
Yeah, if I did that, I would be isolated from the rest of the family.
I'm sure you would.
Yeah.
I'd be in the same boat. I don't think there'd be any way I could bring that into the house.
Exactly. All right, I want to point this out because we have sort of been. I hope that World's Smallest know how much love we've been giving their ideas. Please send us things. That would be really awesome. We'd love to review your Super Impulse World's Smallest stuff. This one in particular, Thunder Punch He-Man on Instagram posted this a few days ago, and it's a Viewmaster, but it's a Masters of the Universe, Viewmaster. So
love it.
Really small, of course. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely, Viewmaster. Gotta love it. But look at inside. Inside, when you actually put the little teeny tiny, circle of images inside the Viewmaster, you get laser light, He-Man.
Look at that.
Images.
This is incredible. I'm loving this.
Yes, Ganga, it does work. It works like a real Viewmaster, and it's probably this big.
How do you see through that?
I know, it's amazing. I don't know how Thunder Punch He-Man Instagram page. I don't know how he got the images here, but yeah, we
gotta find out what kind of camera he's using for these.
Yes. Also, yeah. Oh, yeah. And Corey Berger mentioned you can also shine a flashlight through this.
That's the basic way to do it.
I think that this is going to be in scale for Masterverse.
Yes.
Or Origins, but I have seen like the little video game consoles that they put out. They are a little bit bigger than the action figures. The action figures are perfectly scaled for Origins and Masterverse, as if they own the action figures. This is going to be small, but it might look a little bit.
I think it'll still work with Origins or Masterverse, I'd imagine. And I couldn't think of any better way than having like Man-at-Arms and He-Man geeking out looking at Viewmasters of laser light Skeletor and He-Man. Like, wow. It's incredible. I love that.
It's great. Just really, when I saw him post this, those of you who don't follow Thunder Punch He-Man on Instagram, definitely follow him. This is, his collection is amazing.
I'm looking him up right now.
Yeah. And again,
I'm looking him up. We're going to go take a view and we're going to follow him.
Good. And and here's the numbers if you all need it. He posted that too. And now I haven't gone, and I just found this the other day. I haven't had a chance to go online and look to see if there's a place to order them. I've been sort of monitoring the Leo Skeletor and the Slime Pit He-Man and the Castle Grayskull. Still have not seen them available yet.
Okay.
Did you find them yet? Did you find them on there?
Yeah, I found him. Name's Billy Thunder Punch He-Man.
Thunder Punch He-Man. Every post is Masters of the Universe figures.
Yep, there we go.
There he is. So, yeah.
I'm loving this. This is incredible.
Corey said, I was thinking that everyone could be making fun of Triclops for not being able to use them. I know, poor Triclops. So, that's it for the slides, really, except for just a quick reminder that not next week, but the week after, September 3rd, we are going to be talking to Mark Enright, who is the sculptor of the latex Masters of the Universe masks that NECA is going to be putting out. I think you can still get Beastman on costumes.com, but there are many other characters coming. And let me just post this here. Great stream. Thank you, Mega J, for being here. It's always great to see you in here. And again, thank you for being here last week. That was awesome. And you have a great week too.
You too, Mega J.
So be sure to tune in on the 3rd. Oh yeah, yes. See, that Hordak mask is amazing with the big structure behind his head. I forget what that's.
I love it.
The cowl. Yeah.
He's been posting a lot of videos and some stuff this week with him. He had the mold for the Stinkor or the merman and the Stinkor look, and then he put the mask on. He was filming himself going,
yeah.
My God, he looks like such a fun dude to be around while he's making these masks.
Yeah, yeah.
I can't wait to sit down and talk with him next week. I think it's going to be fantastic.
For sure, he's definitely has the same aesthetic that we have. He's really into Star Wars. I don't know if you've looked through his archive of stuff, but he did Star Wars Kenner action figure rubber masks, which are amazing. I'm a big fan of that stuff, and his masks are great. And that Stinkor mask, man, I when it comes available, I'm going to be really struggling to not. I'm definitely going to have to get it.
Well, I know Corey had mentioned getting me a Skunkor for Christmas, but I mean, if you look up the Stinkor mask, and
yeah, exactly.
That'll be great.
Excited to see. Oh wait, let's hear. Thanks again. Oh yeah, okay. So yeah, I'm excited to see what other masks he comes up with and talk to him about all that stuff.
Yeah. It's going to be a really, really exciting time. Here it is. You know what? Let's get a like goal.
Yeah.
We get this video up to how many likes, guys? And we'll all try to see what we can do about getting that Skeletor mask for Skele Vader here and getting a Vader helmet to put on top.
Yeah.
And maybe Skele Vader will give us an intro wearing mask and helm.
I will totally do it. You set the goal and I will do it. I got to get that mask though. And it's already
got to get the mask first. We definitely. So if you guys are a fan of the channel and you want to join his Patreon, that's going to help make this happen. Just saying, guys.
Listen, Gamer Bud is our Patreon right now. We've got one very special Patreon, and his name is Gamer.
I love that.
And it's awesome. I love it. Now, if anybody else wants to join in and help support the channel, whatever you donate, I know money's tight for everybody, but whatever you donate will go back to the channel in some way or another. It might get us a little something to show off here in the channel. Could be a Skeletor mask, and then I have the Darth Vader helmet right over there in my little room, and all you got to do is put
guys.
Put it on top. So let's make it happen.
That's right. Let's definitely see that happen. I'd be so excited to have that happen. I'd be phenomenal. So let's see.
Corey said, "You hate it when someone has something on top."
How do we feel about a like goal of what of our videos been trending around 20 likes?
Yeah.
Can we get a like goal of 50?
50?
Okay. I know our view counts have been getting well past 50.
Yeah.
Let's get a like goal of 50 for this,
Yeah.
and then we're gonna try to get the other elements we need to have this happen.
Yes.
I want to see it happen. I would be all about it. And again, guys, join that Patreon, like, support the channel, and that way we can do more fun stuff like that, because I think that would be phenomenal to have an intro with Skele Vader.
Gonga says, Oz, do you have a Patreon?
I do not have a Patreon yet. I've not set anything up. I don't even have, I mean, I have a YouTube channel. I have not posted a single video yet. That is something that is going to be in the works, and I do plan on starting to post some content really soon, trying to get some videos made. I'd actually thought about today while I was out doing my toy hunt, recording the whole thing, but I have some issues and hangups as far as that was concerned in my line of thinking for that. But I will definitely be starting to put up some solo content on my own channel, and I will definitely give you guys that news here first on Toy Frenzy. Okay, because this is right now, this is where my home is. I love doing Toy Frenzy with Skele Vader. We have a blast doing the show. I love seeing you guys week after week in these chats, joining in with us, jumping in, letting us know what you guys are liking out of the content. And again, please give us more suggestions. What do you guys want to see us do? What do you guys want to see us talk about? We had some talk tonight about the butterfly women. That's the counterpart to Sunman. That's the princess of power to Sunman. If you guys want to see us get into that a little bit more, I'll start digging and doing some homework and finding what I can find. We'll talk about butterfly women a little bit more.
Definitely.
Show off some more of the pictures, show off some more of that content. I love getting into more of the rulers of the sun.
We could even throw in some Golden Girls content too, and talk about.
Yeah.
I saw a toy show today here near where I live. It was one of the malls had like a little like collectors, like a Comic Con. They had some of those figures there, and I was like, dang, that's no way. That's really tempting. And so when I was there, I actually finally got myself a Modulok, and he's in really great shape. He is missing his other head, but I haven't had this as a kid.
I should see what parts of Modulok I have, because again, I've got some incomplete, missing some stuff for mine as well. I've got one of the parts of the gun.
Cool. Hey, listen, Gamer Bud said I have a Darth Vader model kit. I was wondering if I can take his helmet off and fit it on top of my Revelation Skeletor head because it's so small. I'll make a Skele Vader figure. And he followed up and said, comes off. So I don't know if Gamer Bud, I've had like this secret fantasy of somebody customizing a Skele Vader figure since the beginning of this channel, since my daughters helped me come up with the Skele Vader name. I've been thinking about that. I even drew a picture of him, and I've always been hesitant to do customizing with action figures, but man, if somebody's out there, Gamer Bud, you, or really anybody is good at that, and you want to make a Skele Vader figure, that would be awesome.
Let's see what we can do. We'll definitely try. I mean, right now we have King T as the figurehead for the channel, because King T is quite possibly the best action figure to come out. But
he really is. He's asleep right now, by the way. He was like, he had a rough
day.
He rested, but he will be back next time.
Yeah. You guys had a big trip this week you guys had to make, so it's good that we were able to get this show going. For anybody who was wondering, we did have to cancel MOTUesday because of some events, and that's why we want to talk more about MOTUesdays tonight, which we definitely did. Like we said, it's been a little low on some of that news coming out. It seems like more of the information is coming out later in the week than actually on MOTUesday itself.
Yes, yeah. Last week, again, it was a family emergency. Just so you all know, if you follow me on Instagram and Facebook, everything is okay. It's just been a long recovery for my family member, and so far so good. So I had to make a trip to Arizona, which is about a 10-hour drive, and that took up the whole first half of my week. But yeah, it's being here again. King T is resting from the week, but being here with you all and with Oz and talking Toy Frenzy stuff, has really been wonderful. Yeah, yeah. So let's see. Next week we're going to talk about the CGI show season 3, and I'm sure we'll come up with a few other things. Does anybody, Oz, do you have any thoughts or ideas or something else you want to share before we part ways tonight?
Well, I know we'd mentioned it earlier tonight, and one of the things that we kind of want to do is talk about more of our relation to these toys.
Yes.
And I think that is definitely something we can dig into a lot more next week. But I just want to point out that, you know, we're all pretty passionate here about Masters of the Universe and really loving this line. And no matter what faults you find with collecting it right now, we're getting a lot of stuff that, you know, we never would have dreamed about.
Yeah.
5 years ago.
I love that I have a figure here in the Masters of the Universe line, similar to Sunman, that I had no experience with as a kid. But this one, no one's had an experience with this. My experiences with Kol-Darr are completely new, and it's almost proves that it's not just nostalgia that drives our attraction to these figures.
Right. We had one episode with this guy.
Mm-hmm.
One, mind you, yes, it's definitely again a memorable episode. Certainly because we've all had memories of that episode and how cool it was. That's one of the things that made us want this figure, is because we all remember seeing that episode and never having him. He never was released.
Yeah.
So now with what Mattel is doing, they're bringing us stuff that we never dreamed we'd be getting in so many different ways. One of those biggest being the Eternia playset. I mean, who all here in the chat as a kid had an Eternia playset? Anybody?
Nope.
You're going to get your chance now.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you'll get it, but you're going to get your chance at it. We all have a chance to really invest and get into this with, you know, I mean, let's face it, our parents probably saw that Eternia playset and said, haha, no. So
I was talking with Pedro today. I ran into him at the Comic Con in town, and for anybody who doesn't know, Pedro's a friend of mine that I just met, and he basically took over the Snake Mountain, took over ownership, and we have sort of this ongoing trade. And he's really excited about the Eternia playset too. Word is spreading fast. This thing is it's everybody's sort of on fire with this, and
right. Okay, everybody right now, first off, the comment before Gamer Buds here, everybody's seriously jealous of Thanos Copter for saying he had.
There we go.
Oh, no, congratulations, though. Round of applause for having it.
That's called the jealousy applause. The toy frenzy jealousy applause.
That's right.
That's congratulations, Thanos Copter. That's very cool. Very cool that you had that. Oh wait, here. I gave all my toys to my younger cousins like a sucker. Well, maybe you should talk.
We've all had that kind of experience.
That stuff might be in their attic still, and you should talk to them.
That's right. If they haven't moved from the house, it may still be around. Who knows?
Yeah, yeah.
And Gamer Bud saying he had an Eternia play set in his mind, and it was bigger and better. That's definite, because my Eternia took up my whole room with Fright Zone and Sign Pit in one corner, Snake Mountain, and then my Gray Skull in the other corner. If my sister were still here in the chat, she'd tell you she hated it. I totally took up the whole room.
Yeah. You know, we're all driven toward creativity, and I can attribute a lot of the creative drive that I have to the mini comics, the Masters of the Universe mini comics, in the idea of world building. Before I was even started watching the cartoon, I was thinking about that landscape, and I was thinking about those spaces, the inside of Castle Grayskull, and the levels, and getting up on top, and I make stuff out of cardboard. And I think that so many of us have those those wonderful memories. And then it only got better with the background, amazing background paintings from the Filmation show. Yeah, I mean, thank you, Mattel and Filmation for giving us such incredible images and ideas to expand our imaginations.
Well, just you know, and people will bring it up in a very negative way, where Mattel did do some literal brainwashing on all of us as a kid. They brought in psychologists to come up with like some keywords, like, you know, I had the power and stuff like that would stick with us and really, really pull us to this. But truthfully, though, I have to say, were any of those messages bad messages to have? To have faith and power in yourself and belief, be a good friend, and, you know, like those little morals that we used to have at the end of every episode, a lot of those lessons will stick with you. And they were drilled into your head every day of the week.
Mm-hmm. and on top of that, for parents that didn't watch it, were thinking, oh, there's this skull guy. Like, what is my kid watching? What is this? The Skeletor action figure, or these? Too bad. Like they look evil. They look dangerous, but the colors are so fantastic. And so you were getting all this, like, you're getting these lessons in morality and beautiful palettes, swaths of color, and all this amazing fodder for our imaginations. And at the same time, we could be a little rebellious and be like, here's my skull guy, here's my weird beast guy. And your parents would be like, I don't know. Leave that kid alone with his weird stuff.
That's right. And just, it made such an impact on our lives. Here we are. It's 40 years later, and we're still talking about it today.
Yeah, it was woke before woke was a thing. That's so true. That is so true.
So many ways. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll never forget watching I forget what the name of the character was, but it was an episode. It was anti-drug episode, and there's, I forget what her name was. It's in season 1, and it's pretty edgy. I mean, she's pretty
for the time. Yes,
for the time, and thank goodness, like somebody decided, I'm going to make an episode that's going to scare kids about drug use, and
right,
it was
absolutely. It's just one of those things. It was great, and it really kind of set the tone for so many different things in life. And the aesthetic, from the toys to the cartoon and everything. I mean, clearly it's made a huge impact on me. I mean, look at the color palettes we use for a lot of our stuff. And, it's all these bright, vibrant colors that were just so very much at the time. But if you really think about it, it was what pushed that, as these bright, fluorescent colors through the 80s, going into the 90s, really. I mean, all of it caught on, but one of the first places you saw a lot of that, Masters of the Universe did it first.
That's right.
Gimmicks and a lot of toys moving forward from Masters of the Universe. Mattel drove most of that stuff.
Yeah.
And it was incredible.
It's Thanos Copter, Man-at-Arms telling kids to use common sense is probably one of the best things that ever happened in TV. I just want to say, and I know that there are other IPs that have done this. Probably after Masters, but Masters of the Universe is one of the few moments in my life where I can honestly stand behind capitalism and look at it as a positive thing for me.
A very positive impact. Like, I know a lot of people are gonna say that it was negative because we pushed our parents to buy all these toys. But think about the imagination and the creativity that came from that.
It really, it's an odd thing to say, but it did a lot for me and for my mind as a kid, and that's why we're here. That's why we're here talking about this stuff. So let's see here. What does it say? Oh yeah. So I guess that's about it. Oz.
Yeah. Yeah, wow. I mean, it's really we covered pretty much everything that we definitely had to talk about tonight. And definitely was able to interact with just about everybody in the chat, which was fantastic. And again, want to say thank you for everybody who showed up tonight. Thought it was great to have you all here. And again, we're always looking forward to more engagement. So the more you guys are jumping into the chat, letting us know, what you think, what your thoughts are at the time, we're definitely going to be trying to engage as much as possible. I know if this week we kind of changed things a little bit up so that we can try to be more engaged with everything. So if we missed what you said, definitely sorry, because we were trying to keep up with it. You guys get this chat hopping so much.
It's awesome.
It can get really easy to fall behind. But
Yeah.
we love that, though. We love that you guys are making this so engaging for us.
Yeah, we really appreciate you being here. And we're hopefully within the next couple of weeks, we'll convince Oz to have his own Patreon. We'll really be pushing that for Oz. And hopefully we'll see some videos on his channel. That'd be really amazing. But I don't know what you're talking about as far as mouse. You've earned it. You've earned it, buddy. So we really appreciate you all. And, please, as, Oz was really trying to, let's put as many likes in here as possible. Let's bring those like numbers up because that really helps the YouTube algorithm. I'm learning about this stuff. It's interesting, and tell your friends about the Skelevator channel. Tell your friends about Oz, guys. Build those subscriber levels and become a Patreon and support the channel if you feel so inclined. And it can be daunting to think about donating, but why not do it? And gamer, let's see here. Oh, and I didn't start any Motu scripts either. Yeah, well, GamerBud is the secret writer for the show. So
he writes our scripts.
So anyways, we really appreciate you all. Click like and subscribe. And
I think we also got one more chat here from Thanos Copter.
Oh,
give him a little bit of recognition in between gamer buds here.
Oh,
but, this is what it's all about, guys. Thanos Copter, you and Gamer Bud have been here every episode from the start. We appreciate it. We know that many more have been here for every episode from the start. Corey Berger, you've been here.
Yeah.
Duchess of Darkness has joined and been along for the ride. Jay Peregrine, I know you've popped up. Ganga, you've been with us from the beginning. Guys, we appreciate having you here week after week to listen to us ramble on about our toys.
For those of you that popped in and left, that's totally fine. You got to do
it right.
We appreciate you being here, and we look forward to many more episodes as well. So with that being said, thanks so much for being here. Thank you all. We really appreciate you, and we'll see you in the next Toy Frenzy episode.
That's right, guys. To see you on the next exciting new episode of Toy Frenzy.
That's right. Bye.
See ya.